families that are a simple root canal away from financial disaster.
More American families are drowning in debt.
U.S. household debt now at $17.94 trillion.
Okay.
Renita
So
is
Aiden I kind of know what's in this video. First of all, because I think we discussed earned wage access apps from Walmart over a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago on Marketing Monday. But then also Aiden described this video to me on the Patreon of Lemonade Stand. He basically described beat by beat the video. It's going to come out on Monday. So I think there's something I can learn since he didn't have any graphs with him.
one of the 60% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck. She works full-time to provide for her 4-year-old son. He has a developmental disorder, so he has therapy 4 times a week and needs extra care in general.
Sad.
If you're in a single income household like mine, the odds are kind of stacked against you at that point.
These days, when Renita is short on cash, she's been using Earnin, one of these new banking apps that call themselves Earned Wage Access. And they've got a pretty appealing pitch.
Did you go to work today? Probably. Did you get paid for the work you did today? Probably not. You won't see that money till Friday, right?
Stop waiting for payday. With Earnin, you can get paid as you work.
I can get you up to $500 of your future money now. I just partnered up with Dave.
They've got ads with celebs.
This is a general rule of thumb, man. If there's like a teddy bear telling you how you're going to make money, don't trust it. When a teddy bear or Jason Derulo tells you there's a great way to make
like
money.
Jason Derulo and flashy investors like Mark Cuban. They've got Democratic lawmaker support and lobbyists who sound like Bernie Sanders.
Cost of living has skyrocketed across the country.
2/3 of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Paycheck to paycheck.
Paycheck to paycheck.
They say they're fighting for the underdogs, like David slaying Goliath. Goliath being Predatory.
Bro, if you guys don't know, these apps let you get your paycheck early, usually with a fee. We're spoiling a little bit, but that's what they do. But the idea that like people are living paycheck to paycheck. So the way we save them is letting them get them paychecks in between their paychecks. The reason they're living paycheck to paycheck is because their total wages for the year don't add up to the cost of things. It's not the timing. It's not a problem with like, I don't have it on this day. The problem is that they're not paid overall enough.
Big banks. But people who have actually used these apps have a different take.
That should be illegal.
I feel deceived by it. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane.
You deserve to get paid every day.
This is not some scrappy fintech startup scene. This is a industry that's backed by billionaires like Larry Ellison and Mark Andreessen to make profits off people who are struggling.
Today,
how is this different from payday loans is a great question. And the answer is that it's named differently. How is buy now, pay later different than debt, different than credit cards? It's a good question.
I'm going to show you how EWA apps can make life feel like a series of traps. And even if you don't use these apps, they could affect you too. Because with the help of lawmakers and the nation's largest employers, Earned Wage Access is perpetuating some of the most unstable parts of our economic system. And with one wrong move, the whole thing could collapse.
Wow, that was a nice setup.
Here's how it works. Renita has connected her bank account to Earnin.
If I want to borrow money, it tells me like how much I can cash out.
In Earnin language, that amount is her earnings, and it's determined by an algorithm.
You spin the little wheel and then you choose to transfer out.
Wait, what's that?
So, yeah, it says tip what you think is fair. So they're asking for a tip.
Do you ever?
No, I do not.
What do you think? What do you think about this app asking you for a tip?
The audacity. I'm here to borrow money. I don't have any to give you.
Right.
Okay.
Dude, asking for a tip is so funny. We were talking about it in the pod, but it's like, you know, even in the most egregious tips in real life, there's at least a human there to spin the iPad around. But the idea that they're going to ask somebody to tip remotely for a fucking payday loan service. The idea that you're so desperate for money now that you're going to be pulling from your future paycheck and that you're going to tip them for that is just awesome. It's just awesome, dude. It's just an awesome, audacious.
Surely nobody tips their banking app, right? But the data shows that the apps receive tips 73% of the time. This is because they're very manipulative.
It's like a dark pattern.
At one point, Earnin made you...
Everyone's saying WTF, but it's like they make it so it's a default. The tip is a default, and you're like hitting next, or whatever. And then it just pulls it through.
Click 13 times to opt out of tipping. And the Dave app messes with your emotions, telling you your tip is going towards helping hungry children.
That's crazy.
As you decrease the tip amount, you make the little animated child sad by taking her food away. But an FTC investigation found that for each percentage point of a tip...
She gets sad? She's not sad. She's like, give... Having the raised eyebrow, like, huh? Only 10%, huh? Dude, I need that. If you only gift one sub, this girl should pop up and be like, only one, huh? Only one gifted sub. Atrioc, how much Uber Eats will Atrioc be able to afford with only one gifted sub? How's that? How much applesauce is he going to have in his refrigerator? I don't understand your hate for credit cards, TBH. If you pay your balance in full, it's literally free points again. Bro, I am aware, bro. Do you think I don't understand the mechanics? Yes, if you can pay your balance in full, buy now, pay later is fine. Credit cards are fine. Everything's fine. If you have the money, there's no problem. Okay? But do you think that perhaps the billions and billions of dollars they make every year off credit cards and off buy now, pay later is because they know that most people won't have the money? That's the point. The point is the profit they make from knowing you won't have the money. And being people doesn't give you points.
But an FTC investigation found that for each percentage point of a tip, Dave only donates 10 cents. So if I tip 10% on a $100 advance, my tip is $10, but only $1 of that is going towards feeding hungry kids.
Well, no, that's why she's raising her eyebrow. That's why she's like, I can't really eat a lot off $1.
That's not enough for 10 healthy meals, and the other $9, those Dave pockets. In SEC filings, Dave reported making $68 million from tips last year.
That's so crazy.
And according to Earnin,
about 40% of our revenue is tips.
So zero tip, and you gotta
the same wheel.
Select
Yeah.
zero.
So after opting out of tipping a banking algorithm, Rita has two options.
It's just an app that gives someone access to their own money early. That's fucking funny.
To receive her cash. If she selects this free version, the money could take a day or two to hit her bank account. With the lightning speed option, she can get it right away, but there's a transaction fee between $4 and $6.
And then once
Gotcha
you click
mechanics.
that, then
Yep,
the transaction.
that completes it. Yep.
The next time Runita gets her paycheck, Earnin automatically takes back the money she withdrew plus any fees. So when I heard this, I was kind of like, okay, this just sounds like a payday loan where you borrow a few $100s and pay it back with your next paycheck.
Yeah.
With lots of interest, of course.
Yeah.
What are the interest rates? There. Damn, I thought that was the year of establishment.
But all of the EWA app users I talked to said they would never consider taking out a payday loan.
I grew up seeing people use them, and the energy is already kind of like down, feels kind of loan sharky.
Yeah.
They're always in buildings that are not well
It's very
kept,
seedy.
abandoned shopping malls.
The apps, on the other hand, have bright colors and clean design. You can download them right from Apple's App Store and on Google Play. That's gotta mean something, right? They're sending you puppy videos on Snapchat, they've got cuddly mascots, and they've got paid influencers on Instagram and TikTok that reassure you that it's totally not a loan because
no late fees, no credit checks, and no interest. It's your own money, just earlier.
And if you don't see their ads on social media or TV, you may see them at work.
It was in the teacher's bathroom, next to the OSHA signs.
Lee saw an ad for an app called Daily Pay at the school they worked at in Kansas. Daily Pay is one of the EWA companies that partners with big corporations like Amazon, Target, and McDonald's to offer paycheck advances as a benefit, like PTO or health insurance. So Lee signed up.
Yeah, I mean, so we talked about this on Marketing Monday a few years back, but it was through the context of Walmart, which is their app InstaPay. And the thing is about Walmart is they were using the advertisement to their employees in the same way, which is like, hey, you know you get paid every 2 weeks and that sucks? Imagine getting paid every day. But they're your employer. Like, the app is coming from Walmart to its... Like, they could pay you every day if they wanted to. Like, they're the one paying. It's so odd to be like, don't get stuck with a stinky every 2 weeks pay. I had Daily Pay connected to the hours we worked. Yeah, it's crazy. It's just crazy, bro. And then if it's from your employee, like Walmart did it because if their employees wanted to get paid every day, then they would take the fees. And so it ended up that Walmart was paying some of them sub-minimum wage after all the fees were applied.
School turned over their payroll information to Daily Pay, and soon Lee could start withdrawing money from their paycheck whenever they wanted.
I have money in my account before payday, right? It's almost like endorphins.
Like Vernita, Lee grew up watching their parents take out payday loans and saw how financially damaging that was.
But obviously, even with that, like, I fell for this. I didn't see it as a loan. You're not like signing stuff. You know, you're not sitting and reading through a loan agreement.
That's crazy.
It's just like, it's instant, it's fast, and it seems cheap.
It seems cheap. A lot of people I spoke to said that exact thing, and I decided to find out if it was true.
If we want to compare two loans to see which one will end up being cheaper, we can't just look at the simple interest rate. That won't give you the full picture. What you want to do is calculate each loan's APR, or annual percentage rate. I know, this equation looks scary, but don't worry, there are online calculators where you just plug in your numbers and they'll do this math for you. APR is like the price of a loan. It takes into account what you'll pay in interest and in fees and the number of days you have to repay. The more time you have to repay the loan, the lower the price of the loan. So let's say you need $100 now. If you took that as a payday loan, that would likely cost you $15 in fees, and it'd be due back in 2 weeks, 14 days. The APR would be 391%.
Sheesh!
That's expensive. Credit card cash advances usually top out around 36%. So what if you took that $100 out from Earnin instead? Well, Renita actually did that yesterday, and I asked her to calculate her APR. Her only fee was that small lightning transfer fee of $3.99. But she's going to get her paycheck tomorrow, and even if she needs the money for something else, Earnin will take back what she owes right away. So she only has 1 day to repay, which means her APR is
$1,456.35%. Insane. That's a lot. My mind is blown. Jesus Christ.
A study conducted by California regulators found that the average APR for companies like Earnin is 334%. But these calculations don't include all the random hidden charges these apps can have, like subscription fees.
I don't care how small the fee is. They're getting it right back the next day. That should be illegal.
Yes, quadruple-digit interest rates should be illegal, so why aren't they? Well, interest rates are regulated on a state-by-state basis. I'm currently in New York, where the APR on small loans is 25%. That effectively bans payday loans. Their business model just isn't as profitable without high fees and interest rates, so they don't operate here. But EWA companies do, because of an extremely dumb loophole. Lending laws technically only apply to loans.
These are not loans.
EWA's access to
So we talk about this so much time on this stream, but just Wall Street every few years taking the same debt and finding a different way to name it is so funny. It's the same thing as BNPL, dude. It's the same thing. It's just a different way. We need to get on the action. We need to find another name for debt. We should call it I need a name for it. I need a name. Money time travel. That's perfect. Holy shit. Okay, it's called money time travel. And what we do is we're not loaning your money. We're using proprietary technology to travel your money from the future through time now. So you get access to future bucks now and you pay back regular bucks later. This is fucking good. MTT, money time travel. Tomorrow's earnings today. Wait, I'm setting this up. This is fucking awesome. This is easy money. Invest in your future self. Oh my God. Have your future self invest in the now. Say thank you to your future self. And it's like an ad of like a woman and it's like herself but slightly older patting her on the back. I've got you. Don't worry, I've got you. Holy fucking shit.
Earn wages, not a loan.
We are advancing money and getting paid back.
Right, guys, it's not a loan. You're just borrowing money and paying it back later. And now, how come you don't have to cap your interest rates?
There's no interest charge ever because these are not loans.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You're not a loan because you don't charge interest. And those fees and tips you charge are not interest because only loans have interest and you're not a loan.
Right.
If you're starting to get dizzy, buckle up because there's more. EWA lobbyists use words like
choice,
dignity,
flexibility.
They're trying to convince lawmakers that they're providing an important service to working Americans. And they started doing this years ago before most people had ever heard about earned wage access. That's allowed them to define the narrative by repeating the same 5 talking points.
Okay. Workers can only access their own money.
Their own money. It is absolutely not a loan.
Because our product is not a loan, no EWA provider charges interest.
There is no interest.
We do not charge any late fees or interest ever.
Wages you have already earned that are trapped in a batch payroll cycle.
The antiquated payroll system.
Arbitrary payday.
Arbitrary 2 or 4 week pay cycle.
Even if we were to assign an APR rate, it'd be like misleadingly high.
Emphasizing APRs is misleading for a non-loan product with no interest.
Just reading off.
There's also no requirement to repay.
They have literally forever.
It's funny because they're all just reading the talking points off the fucking paper. They have forever to pay it back. No, they don't. It comes out of their next paycheck. Well, that one's just a lie. I mean, I guess they're all lies in a way, but this is like one that comes out of their next paycheck.
To pay it back. Right? So because it's their money, they're just borrowing against their future self. I shouldn't say borrowing, they're accessing wages against.
I shouldn't say borrowing because that would make it sound like a loan. I should say borrow. I'm accessing wages. It's so fucking stupid. It's just a different word. We all know what's going on here. They're just accessing the future, dude. They're just time traveling. Well, I gotta get my talking points ready. Your Honor, they're not borrowing and they're not accessing wages because they banned that in 2030. What they're doing is they're time traveling their money from what they've made in the future to themselves in the present. Your Honor, have you seen the movie Looper? With Joseph Gordon-Levitt? It's kind of like Looper, Your Honor. It's the way that time travel works is tough to explain, but
their future self.
Wait a minute. What did he just say?
They have literally.
Your Honor, do you like the movie Tenet?
Literally forever to pay it back. Right? So because it's their money, they're just borrowing against their future self. I shouldn't say borrowing, they're accessing wages against their future self.
Oops.
They can't even keep their own tangled knots straight.
I was getting lost in all the corporate doublespeak, so I got help from Andy Morrison. That's him testifying against EWA lobbyists in the New York State House.
These are essentially payday loans by another name.
Andy debunked every talking point. First up, that there's no interest.
It's not true. The average effective interest rate on EWA loans is over 330% APR.
It's like, you don't even need to go into the details of it. It's just, why would this business exist? They make a profit. Where's the profit coming from? Just look at why they're not doing this at the good of their hearts, okay? They're not doing this at the good of their hearts. So where's making a profit? The idea that we have to fucking rigorously debunk it is just crazy. Why are 10 different apps popping up to give you your money early? Because they can take money from you.
Are fees the same thing as interest?
Yes. When the cost of a loan is calculated, it's inclusive of fees. And in this case, it should be inclusive of the tips.
What about their claim that you never have to pay it back?
They have access to your bank account. They're getting paid virtually every single time.
And those antiquated payroll systems.
There's nothing inherently broken about a 2-week pay cycle. What's broken is that wages are too low and the cost of living is too high for millions of workers.
Is APR really misleading for these short-term loans?
It's just the standard of measurement for loans everywhere.
Andy said EWA companies claim annual percentage rates are misleading because their loans don't last for a whole year.
That's like saying that you didn't violate the speed limit in miles per hour because you didn't drive for an hour. You were only driving for 2 minutes.
And finally, altogether now.
I did say that to a judge just the other day when I drove 120 in a school zone. Because I had places to fucking be. I had an idea about time traveling money, actually. I had to get to the bank right quick. And it worked, okay? I hit barely any kids. And MKBHD was in the passenger seat, actually. He was like, he was warning me against it. He had some bad experiences.
Oh, is it really your own money?
What they're doing is lending. They're offering a worker money against their future earnings. The worker has to pay that back. It's a loan.
Just in the past few years, these apps have drained at least $500 million in fees and tips from working Americans, and that's just in New York. This should piss off lawmakers, and yet
a lot of lawmakers kind of fall for it hook, line, and sinker.
Earned wage access, in my opinion, does not qualify as a loan.
I think it is an amazing concept.
You're not loaning me.
What is amazing about it?
Mine, I earned it.
I do think that this is a real solution for our constituents.
What is the solution? It's just so stupid. It's just so stupid. I mean, I assume all these people are bought by lobbyists, is my assumption. But I'm worried that some of them are actually dumb enough to hear it and be like, no, some of them could be just actually dumb. And that's scarier to me. That you can't figure out that this is a loan. That's crazy.
Once they win over enough lawmakers, fintech lobbyists get one of them to introduce a regulatory law. During the hearing, they're like, hey, we're not predatory. Look, we want to be regulated.
I crisscross the country generally supporting legislation.
Meanwhile, the legislation was written by fucking ALEC, the guys that are secretly behind tons of conservative state laws, like Stand Your Ground and bills that weaken labor unions and restrictive voter ID laws. They're basically a fill-in-the-blank bill.
I'm sorry, but if you're going to curse, then I'm taking my money and going elsewhere, okay? I thought we were trying to here to learn. And if you're going to hear and you're going to say that vile word to our ear, we don't curse on this stream, okay? Tell you what, I've never seen an earned wage access app curse. That friendly bear from Dave Bank, he didn't curse. Yeah, I wonder who's on the wrong side of history here.
Factory for pro-corporate lawmakers. That's how the same EWA bill ended up on state house floors across the country. It gives legal blessing to the way these companies already operate and ensures they won't have to cap fees or disclose APRs or be subject to other lending rules.
And it becomes extremely difficult to remove them once they become entrenched.
And once people start using these apps to help pay the bills, they quickly become dependent on them. The average EWA user takes out 36 advances a year. The average payday loan consumer takes out 8. As I talked to Runita about each of her recent earn-in advances, I started to see how that happens.
The first time Runita used Earnin, it was a couple years ago after her son was born. She had just switched to this remote job, which was a pay cut, but it let her stay home and care for her son at the time. And then after she went back to her normal job, she actually stopped using Earnin for nearly 2 years. She got on a stable financial footing. She even bought this house.
Okay.
But housing costs are expensive.
Yeah.
And for a bunch of complicated reasons, her child support payment is less this year than it was before. And that put Runita in this really precarious position where if one thing went wrong, it would completely throw her off financially. And about 2 weeks ago, that's exactly what happened.
My son wakes up really early sometimes, and it was like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I went to try to like open an app on my phone, and it wasn't loading, and I was like, did they turn my internet off? And I checked the router, and it said your service has been interrupted for non-payment, and I'm like, what the heck are you talking about?
The bill used to be on auto pay, but for some reason wasn't anymore.
They told me I had to pay like over $200. I had like $50 in my bank account. That was the first domino, and everything else just kind of fell apart from there.
Runita borrowed $150 from Earnin to pay the internet bill, the $20 reconnection fee, and the $6 Earnin fee.
I had to go to the McDonald's and use their Wi-Fi.
That setback meant Runita had to borrow again just 3 days later for gas, and 4 days after that for a utility bill, which meant her next paycheck was smaller, which meant she ended up borrowing again 3 more times over the next week, leading to another small paycheck, which led to more borrowing and another small paycheck, until she was trapped in a debt cycle. By comparison, the previous month, Runita only borrowed 1 time.
You don't have room to breathe. It's like you can't breathe. Every dollar is like accounted for. Like it leaves no room for errors.
Fintech's colorful, emoji-filled version of payday loans is just the latest in a long tradition of predatory lending. I mean, loan sharks have existed since ancient Mesopotamia, but
there are prohibitions on usury in practically every religion.
If they've innovated anything, it's that they've made it way too easy to get into debt.
When you go to the payday loan, you're kind of watching your backs. Who's seeing me walk into this building? But the cash advance apps, it's private. There's this huge social stigma against people who are poor. Everyone I know is in debt, but we have to pretend like we're not. And there's a lot of shame wrapped up in that.
In our society, people are made to feel that if they're struggling financially, it's their own fault. When in fact, we have a financial system and an economy that is designed to extract money from people. And I think the EWA industry really exemplifies that.
Now, at this point in a video about consumer exploitation, I would normally give a shout out to Lina Khan over at the FTC for going after EWA companies. And I'd also mention that last year, the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau issued a statement that earned wage access is a loan and should be regulated as such. But Elon Musk is on a mission to delete the CFPB, and the Trump administration has already started trying to make that happen.
Is this old? Elon's out of government. When did this air? Oh, just a few days ago. Interesting.
By closing down the headquarters and telling staffers not to do any work tasks. And Lina Khan is out too. Her replacement, Andrew Ferguson, is taking the FTC in a different direction.
The previous administration, they were all about rules, rules, rules. That's not what we're about in the Trump administration.
Those anti-regulation vibes are already playing out in the states. 12 states have laws on the books regulating EWA, but only 2 of those say that paycheck advances are loans. The other 10 are EWA-friendly ALEC legislation. And if you live in one of these 18 states with EWA legislation pending, make sure your state's bill isn't the ALEC one. EWA lobbyists are trying to make it seem normal that if we're broke, we should be taking out dozens of small loans a year to get by, which, as I've shown, just makes things worse.
The solution to thirst isn't lead-contaminated water.
So, what are the solutions for people struggling to get by? Well, one could be community-driven credit unions, which can offer people fair loans at reasonable rates. Or, to dream even bigger, what if people didn't need to turn to debt in the first place? That's one of the reasons advocates like Andy support public banks. They're run by the state, and therefore they're accountable to us instead of private shareholders. And since they don't exist to turn a profit, they can invest our taxes into things that would help our communities, like building affordable housing.
It's part of the recipe for how we create an economy that works for people, that doesn't exist to extract profits, but actually exists to build wealth and root wealth in local neighborhoods so that people can thrive.
But instead of talking about any of that, we're stuck debating the definition of a loan and whether biweekly pay is good or not. That is why EWA is so dangerous, even if you don't use it. And even worse, by normalizing debt as a way to deal with low wages, they're reducing the pressure that would naturally build on employers to pay people more, thus keeping our wages low. Because the obvious solution here is literally just paying people more. That's what finally helped Lee and Renita break out of their debt cycles. Lee when they got a better paying job, and Renita when she got a raise at her current job.
One day I would just love
And then also, I mean, like, you know, one big thing, and this is part of what Lena Khan was doing with other things like Ticketmaster and everything. It's like, one thing that particularly annoys me about things like this is the way they try to hide how they're charging you. Like, to me, it's so important that anything remotely like a loan is upfront and clear about what it is and then what the APR is. Like, if you can just compare and contrast all the different stuff, but when it's hidden, when it's fees, when you think you're buying a ticket for $100 and then actually it's fucking $180 because of all that stuff's annoying because it requires you to constantly be on your guard. Like, they're making value off of tricking you or trying to catch you when you're not looking or you're not making a choice. I find that to be very frustrating. It's an optional tip. The tip is one part that's optional. Getting it now is $6.99. And then, because tip was only 40% of their revenue. Tip your employer when they pay you. I mean, you should do that. That's just a good habit.
like not have to think about it. Like, I don't have to be filthy rich. I just don't want to have to think about what's in my bank account every day. That'd be nice. Because all I care about is making his life better.
Thank you for watching the...
I mean, good video. Good video. Good video. These EWA apps are insane. I'm so excited personally to see the other names they come up with that over the next 30 years of the earth before it all ends. Mr. Beast bucks, that would be sick. If you could borrow money from Mr. Beast, it's like a little game on your phone. It's like borrow Mr. Beast's money and you get Beast bucks from the Beast Bank. You have to either tip or you have to watch a certain number of Mr. Beast videos all the way through. And if you fall enough behind on your debt, you have to be in one of his videos and he gets to do whatever he wants.